what is with people acting like this isn't one of the best things to ever happen in LeBron's career, even with him being 40?
It's just like a dream come true, you know. I always look up to him. There's so many things I can learn from him.
Like, tell me why the top insiders, obviously Shams being the top, and then Chris Haynes, are even feeling the need to report that, oh, the Lakers do not plan on trading LeBron James, and that LeBron doesn't plan on requesting a trade. Like, thanks, Captain Obvious. Were we really expecting LeBron to request a trade after literally landing, I can't believe I'm saying this, Luka Doncic? The only reporter who's reported what you would think would be the logical reaction is from Brian Windhorst, who said LeBron has dreamed of this. And now, Windy did say in 2022 he doesn't have a relationship with LeBron anymore. But as it's well known, did no exaggeration pretty much follow LeBron everywhere to start his career, from covering him in high school, then followed him to the Cavs in 2003 to be a beat writer the same year LeBron got drafted, then to Miami in 2010, and back to Cleveland in 2014. Like, it's actually insane. To paint the picture, this time last year, the Lakers were strongly pursuing Dejounte Murray. Remember that, guys? No disrespect to Dejounte, but you don't need me to tell you there's a huge gap between Luka Doncic and Dejounte Murray. Man, how did we get here? Now, my thought on why Shams, for instance, has to report, oh, the Lakers won't trade LeBron, is one, just because he's doing all these TV hits, like he's covering every single possible angle, so that's that. But two, and more importantly, he needs to pretend that this was some fair trade in order to maintain his relationships around the league. That's why being an insider must suck, because you're literally a puppet for players, coaches, agents, executives, etc. You can't give any critique and have to basically be a robotic politician and always try to please the people who are feeding you the news, aka your sources. Great example, I was watching Get Up Monday morning and Windhorst was making the obvious point of like, how if you're the Mavericks did you not extract both of LA's available first round picks? Relaying to us about how people around the league were shocked and, you know, obviously right, and watch Shams have to push Nico Harrison propaganda.
Well, I think they targeted Anthony Davis in this deal. They've never wanted to really part with Austin Reeves unless they got a transcendent player. Well, Luka Doncic is a transcendent player. But, you know, in these negotiations, they did give up a first-round pick. They gave up Max Christie.
I love how he stumbles realizing, oh, Luka is a transcendent player. Like, even he, Shams being like the insider that he is, having to pretend, you know, play both sides of it, right, be the politician, even he couldn't rationalize it. Now look, does this trade make them the favorites to win the title? No, and I would be surprised if they were raising the Larry in June. But let's stop pretending like they just didn't get way better now. Forget the future for a second. What's been the one thing people have been criticizing AD for years now? His lack of aggression. But guys, there's a reason he hasn't put up this scoring output of a Joker or Embiid. He can't create his own shot like the other two can. So while people keep harping on the defense, I think a lot of people are forgetting that Anthony Davis was supposed to take over the torch from LeBron years ago. Back before the 2023-24 season, so October 2023, James told ESPN's Dave McMenamin, also Newhouse grad, so shout out to my guy, he is the face of the franchise. And I can't find the specific soundbite or quote, but even when AD first got traded there in 2019, he was singing similar praises then. That was like the whole selling point, bringing a 25-year-old AD to LA. It's like, okay, he's gonna be the shorter the load in the regular season, as obviously, you know, LeBron is starting to age. Now though, he's clear-cut got a guy who can fulfill that duty, a player who's one of probably only 4 1A championship options in the league.
You gotta have a dude, you gotta have a 1A dude.
I didn't want to disagree with Becky today, but they do have that dude.
Who?
Jalen Brunson.
No, he's too small.
And there's been a lot of question about, oh, the fit, this and that. Charles Barkley chiming in with these comments that went viral.
The Lakers, that's going to be fascinating because I don't think Luke and LeBron can play together. That's my personal opinion.
Look, there's no question the pairing is redundant and that they now desperately need help in the front court protecting the rim. But you just put yourself in a position only 3 to 5 other teams in the entire NBA can say they're in, being OKC, Denver, Boston, Milwaukee, and themselves. They have a guy who can be the best player on a championship team. I don't think you could have said that before in a 40-year-old LeBron. And AD wasn't at that level offensively in terms of self-creation to be the best player on a championship team. Also, I wouldn't count out LeBron's adaptability. I mean, this is a guy who takes a lot more threes now compared to, I don't want to call it prime, but I guess he isn't sadly in his prime anymore. So yeah, when he was in his prime, I think we should have a lot more confidence in LeBron's ability to play more off ball and adapt. I mean, it's LeBron freaking James, man. His basketball IQ, you don't need me to endorse. Then the other obvious thing, this extends LeBron's career if he so chooses. ESPN's David McMenamin reported that, quote, there's a chance that he will renegotiate a new deal and this Luka Doncic addition could extend LeBron James's career. It's not a given that next year will be his last year in the NBA. This trade will probably ignite LeBron, and I'm sure has brought a certain level of joy back to be like, wait a minute, I actually have a shot now at winning a 5th championship for real? Because you can't convince me deep down that LeBron wasn't frustrated with the Lakers hovering around the bottom of the postseason bracket these last 4 to 5 years. There's a lot to be said about the idea that this will rejuvenate LeBron and potentially motivate him to play at least 2 more seasons, like maybe more, who knows, I don't know. After all, LeBron has said multiple times that Luka is his favorite player in the entire NBA. Said so back in May of 2022 on Twitter following Luka delivering one of the most iconic postseason performances in recent NBA history. And I was talking with a friend about this. Imagine trying to tell someone like last April that JJ Redick would be coaching Luka Doncic on the Lakers. Like, bro, what? The 2 Today podcast episode back around this time last year, it was in February with JJ hosting, obviously, Omen in the 3, and Luka and the Mavs having just made those trades for PJ Washington and Daniel Gafford. The funny thing is too, LeBron and JJ did a segment on their Mind the Game podcast back in June where they're discussing how to defend Luka.
I don't think there's a best way to guard Luka Doncic in a pick and roll.
That is absolute gold, man. Another point I want to hit on is this LeBron hater-filled notion that, oh, he knew this trade was coming and oh, the GM. With a trade of this magnitude, it's the least surprising thing to hear that this news was only kept between Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka. LeBron and AD are both obviously rep by Rich Paul and Clutch Sports. You think Rob is telling LeBron this because you don't know for certain how LeBron's gonna react? To all accounts, him and AD were best friends in the Lakers, and don't take it from me, take it from the Lakers athletic reporter Jovan Bua.
If LeBron had his way over the last 2 years, they would have traded for Kyrie. They would have traded for Dejounte Murray. They would have traded for Zach LaVine. LeBron has wanted a third star next to him in AD. Really, since the Westbrook trade, we can trace back like the relationship fraying a little bit. Bronny thing aside, obviously that was in part a favor to LeBron and what he wanted. But again, relatively low opportunity cost.
And that was a great point by Jovan. Shout out to my guy. He's a great dude. Does great work with the Athletic. That, you can point to the Bronny stuff, sure. But like Jovan said, the opportunity cost was so low on those moves. Like they use a second round pick, 55th overall at that. And if you actually understand the financials, that saved the Lakers money rather than adding some vet minimum to be on the end of their bench. Like, don't listen to the Barstool Sports pipeline that literally creates rage bait content around this. Oh, the GM, and dude, they just they just do this purely for views. It's like they hit their target audience, right? It's like they're feeding the audience exactly what they want to hear. Oh man, we can talk about, we can do a whole documentary on the damage Barstool Sports has done to sports media. Simply put, this was a lifeline thrown LeBron and LA's way, and don't let anyone underscore how crazy this was. You already have people gaslighting us into thinking that, oh, this was a misunderstood move by the Mavs that you have to have a 200 IQ to understand. Like, stop, man.